Strawberries are both delicious and very easy to grow. They take up a very small amount of space, so if you're limited on the space, it is a fantastic option for you. They adapt themselves very easily to pots. You can make towers of them, and there are even specialty pots designed for strawberries that take up less space and allow you to plant multiple strawberries in them. Just do a little search for strawberry pots and you'll be surprised at how many you find. The other trick with strawberries as well is there is about as many varieties as there are stars in the sky, or at least it feels that way when you start looking into them. However, the main things that they hold in common is that they are generally a spring-summer fruiting. Most will go through to autumn to some degree, and they prefer a good amount of sunlight. The soil requirements for them is pretty much the same regardless of the variety, although some have preferences to warmer climates and some to colder climates. Some are more adaptable to shadier areas than others, and obviously you'll have variations in the flavour of the fruit, how sweet it is, how big it is, and so on and so forth. A little bit of research into that will give you an idea as to what you like. However, the fact that they take up so little space, you can basically experiment with multiple different varieties, find out what you like, as I'm trying, and just go with the ones that you prefer. So here are a few tips on how to propagate them and just the basics of what you need to do to make sure that they survive. So here's a bunch of plants that I have. As you can see, they're quite content in pots. Just make sure they get plenty of sun, and they are one of those plants that it is a good idea to make sure that you keep them watered. They don't like to get too dry. If the soil is sufficiently well draining, giving them a bit too much water is not too bad, but don't let it get soggy and wet. They'll rot and they will hate you for that. But like many a plant that likes water but doesn't want to be too wet, make sure it's well draining, and it will forgive you for putting a bit too much water on it versus letting it dry out and die. They are quite forgiving, however. If they do start to dry out, you'll see them start to hang and droop, and if you get to them quickly enough, they will recover. Nice production of fruit down here, nice big one coming up. So first and foremost, they're not a very deep-rooted plant, so if you have something with more width and shallower, they're quite happy with that, because ultimately if you get something really, really deep, you're wasting potting mix. It's not going to be really doing much to it. But if you do go too small, it's hard to keep them moist, and obviously you have to keep on watering them very, very regularly. The size that I've got here is probably about as small as realistically you want to have it to keep it practical. I do have some in smaller pots than that, and they're quite fine with it, but it's more a matter of how much effort you need to put into keeping everything, watered, and how attentive you are. Now there's a couple of different ways that you can actually propagate them as well. If you put them in a large enough, wide enough area, they will actually propagate themselves with runners. They also do get bigger, and I have found, I don't know whether it actually is for all varieties, but I've found it with several that I've played around with. You seem to be able to separate them once they get to a large enough size, and you can make multiple plants that way. As I said, I'm not 100% sure if that's the case with every variety, but there are several varieties that you can definitely do that with, because I've come across it on multiple occasions. Then you can use seeds as well. From a ripe fruit, you can actually peel the seeds off and actually grow it from that. Personally, haven't had much success with that, but if you buy seeds and grow them that way, that obviously works, because plenty of people do that all the time. But ultimately, if you've got a fruit that you like and it's gone a little bit too ripe or something like that, try and grow yourself some with that. No harm, no foul. You're going to waste it anyway. So certainly one of the things is growing from runners, and it's the most common way of propagating them, it would seem, when you're buying a new strawberry plant. Generally, it's something that's been done from a runner. Disturbingly, to find out what a runner actually looks like, and researching online about runners, it's really hard to actually find a picture that actually makes any sense. So it took me ages to find it out. But the one thing ultimately is once you see one, it's blatantly obvious that that's what it is. So it's just one of those things like, what's it look like? What's it look like? Oh, of course, that's what it looks like. So I'm going to show you what a runner looks like, both on the plant as well as one that's basically, I've gotten to take root as well. So here I've got quite a happy, relatively healthy looking plant, and there we go. There is a runner. So generally what it's going to look like is a very, very long stem, longer than your general leaves. It's got just this leafy bit right at the end. It's got a little sort of like a sort of an angle to it. It just looks different to the rest of them. All right. Now here is one, a runner, and I basically put some dirt over it and just sat it there and just kept it watered, and it's now taken. So I cut it from the parent plant, but as I have discovered, and as you'll read, is that sometimes they just decide they want to propagate and spread out and try and find somewhere they like, and it has basically shot out another runner. Now I'll say part of the reason for this is that the potting mix that it's actually in there is just a seed raising mix, so it's good enough that it's keeping it alive and survived, and it's in a little bit more shadier spot than the other ones are. So the plant itself is probably just going, this isn't the perfect spot, I'm going to keep on searching. So that's basically how they search, and it's really quite intriguing and very fascinating. Now, depending where you are on your strawberry growing process and like what you're trying to achieve, so if you've got a very young plant and it hasn't really got its going on yet, generally speaking, it is regularly recommended to trim away the flowers where it's trying to fruit, make sure the runners aren't happening, look after the plant, and allow it to really bulk up and strengthen itself up. That being said, a lot of the ones that I've found in nurseries and hardware stores that have their own nursery sections, they generally seem to be already more or less ready to go anyway, so you don't need to baby them as much. That being said, if you want to get a stronger, bigger plant, that's how you do it. You basically, sacrifice your first year of fruit so that you can get a stronger, better plant. And theoretically speaking, it'll actually give you better fruit as well. There are a lot of plants that do recommend things like that. Myself, I'm just too impatient, so I don't do that. But when it comes to the runners, unless you're actually actively trying to propagate them, getting rid of the runners is a good thing, because all of the energy of the plant is going to the runner and trying to propagate itself, and not the fruit. So generally speaking, you're going to either have fruit or runners. So take your choice. Which one do you want? So I've just taken one of the larger ones, the one I showed you with the runner, out of its pot, because I'm going to be repotting it into a wider pot. And this is basically what it looks like. This one's quite a nice strong one. It's almost like a taproot there, and then little smaller roots coming off it, and like that's a lot of root system. But it's generally, it's not very deep. Like that wasn't actually all the way to the bottom of the pot. It's only because I've hosed it to give you a better look at the root system. Now, I mentioned before that I've been able to separate some of them in the past, and this kind of looked like it could be done, but I wouldn't risk it on that, because it looks, you could potentially do it. But the other trick as well is that if you're buying them from nurseries and so forth, there's a good chance that it's been grown from multiple seeds or multiple little runners and things, and they've just grown really tightly together. But if you are repotting and you find like somewhere like here, and it's actually got roots coming off it, and there's another bit over here and there's roots coming off it, not this really strong central one like that, and you will find that when you're repotting occasionally, then you can separate them. Big thing though, if you are doing that, just be very, very, very careful. You want to keep as much of the root system intact, create as little shock to the plant as you can if you are going to do it. Otherwise, just keep it together and just look after it, and you'll just have a thicker, bulkier, stronger plant that's producing more in a more concentrated area. Now, one of the things with strawberries as well is they're, I'll just say, a little bit like a blueberry in the sense that they can be overloved. So You don't want to be giving them too much water, too much care, too much fertilizer, because they'll get upset. So don't overdo it. They do like a good, nice amount of fertilizer, well draining soil and so forth, and good amount of compost, things like that. But don't go over the top. As a general rule, what you want to do is have a good quality, well draining potting mix if you're putting it in pots, which I'm thinking most people in this video are going to be. And then put them in those pots, put a little bit of mulch around the top, and then keep it well watered. You want more potassium in the fertilizer that you use. Apparently your tomato and capsicum fertilizers, the ones that are good for that, are generally a very good one for it. Blood and bone is another that's very good, and usually looking at, say, roughly every 2 weeks. So don't overdo it. It'll let you know as well. So they're quite forgiving, similar to the blueberry. The plant itself is a forgiving plant. If you're not doing it right, generally what's going to happen is it'll affect how much fruit or the quality of the fruit that you do or don't get, less than whether or not the plant itself will survive. So it is forgiving. So don't get too scared. Just don't overlove it either. Just another little example here of strawberry. This one's a different breed again. Seems to be a taller, bushier one. Actually produces very nice strawberries. And as you can see as well, it's one of the tricks is if you're not doing it quite right, your fruit doesn't quite work out. So I'm a little hit and miss with it, and I am still playing around to get it just right. Now, one of the tricks, and the most important one, is a simple little detail. Strawberries, the fruit, berry, don't like to actually be wet themselves and don't like to be in contact with the ground or the soil. So there's 2 things that you want to be doing depending on where you've got it. One of them, and the advantage with the pots, is have it near enough to the edge so that it hangs over the edge and the fruit hangs off, so it's not actually touching the soil. If it does touch the potting mix, what tends to happen is it rots very quickly. It's also a little bit more prone to getting hit by some of the bugs that like to eat it as well. The other, once again, depending where you're putting it, is mulch. Straw, sugarcane mulch, that kind of thing, very quick draining over the top so that it keeps the foliage and the fruit away from the potting mix or the soil is the other option. So if your pot's too big and it's not going to actually reach the edges to hang over, or obviously it's in the ground so it's not going to hit the edge and roll over, mulch is a good way to go to keep it up. You don't want the wet kind, barky kind of mulch. It's something more like the straw, so it drains through very quickly and tends to stay drier. Has the added advantage, obviously, as it keeps a lot of the moisture in the soil as well. So that is the key thing that you really want to have beyond any of the others. Make sure you keep the fruit off the soil. So beyond that, back to my little strawberry collection here, is multiple different varieties of strawberries as well. So this is my experiment to determine which ones I actually like best. Now I will say one thing very key: if you are having multiple varieties, label them and keep them separate from each other so you know which one's which. Because if you were to look at that plant there and look at that plant there, tell me which variety is which, good luck. It's not going to happen. And right here, these are all of the ones that I forgot to label or didn't label correctly. It's like I used a paddle pop stick or something along those lines, and it doesn't actually hold the words on it, so I no longer know what they are. I'm not getting rid of them, they still produce, nothing wrong with them. I just don't know how to compare them to the other ones because what variety is it? Hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea and taken a little of the concerns that you may or may not have had about growing strawberries away. There's multiple different ways that you can go about it. They look beautiful as well. Give it a go. Play around with it, try some different varieties. If it doesn't work out perfectly for you, experiment and play around. As I said, realistically, the worst that's going to happen, provided you don't just let it die, is it's going to take you a little bit longer before you get to a quality fruiting stage. And given that a lot of recommendations do suggest not to allow it to fruit the first year anyway, you're not really missing out if that's the case. So give it a go, play around. Anybody who does actually have some recommendations, please comment. Let us know. I'll, anybody who watches this can read it, and I'll do another video later on with anything that I learn from anything that you input. Always willing to learn and always willing to want more. Remembering I'm an amateur and I'm just helping you with the benefit of my personal experience, and I know that there's many, many, many things yet to learn. If you found this useful or enjoyed it, please subscribe, share, and let me know what you think as well. Thanks so much, and please subscribe.